Hey there, everybody. Welcome to English 112. I am your instructor, Katie Serber. Before getting started with the class, I just wanted to take a second to introduce myself to you and then together preview exactly what English 112 is, and then go over with you how I organize the class in Blackboard and how I run the class so that you can have an idea of what the next semester together is going to look like. So let's go ahead and get started. I immediately want to share with you all that my position with the English department is a little bit unique. I am a full-time instructor with them, but I also split my time as an advisor with our college and career promise program. So what that means is that I am back and forth between Central Carolina campus and one of our high schools in Harnett County. All that means for you is that I just like to be upfront that my office hours very much so vary because my main office is at the high school, and oftentimes if you want to arrange a meeting with me, I try to work it in what works best with you and what campus works best with you. But many times I try to encourage us to meet through chat, but that has not been a strong issue at all with any of my previous students. But I just like to share that up front with you. So if you have any questions as you're trying to find me, that just oftentimes some people say they try to find me in the English department. Many times it just means I'm at the high school at that time. So I always say email me or call me if you have immediate questions. But you're going to discover that I am very fast at replying to emails. So that is probably the best way to reach me anytime during this class. So that's just a small amount of background on me. Let's go to the more important stuff, which is what exactly English 112 is. So I'm going to assume, and I'm going to assume that I'm correct on this, that when you were told to register for English 112, that you immediately questioned how English 112 was going to be any different from English 111. So English 111, its primary goal was to create a foundation of the different rhetorics of English writing. So its focus was more on the basic patterns that you would encounter throughout academic writing. So primarily how to be an academic writer, and then I'm going to guess that you're probably assigned a narrative, perhaps the comparison and contrast, perhaps the cause and effect, and then at the end, more than likely you were given some sort of persuasive argument. Depending upon who you had as an instructor, you might have had emphasis on grammar, you might have had a stronger emphasis on using the library or using the writing center, but ultimately its goal was to introduce to you different strategies of academic writing and then the different patterns of academic writing. English 112's main focus is then to take all of that background and shift it to writing across the different disciplines, and then emphasize proper research techniques, developing stronger arguments in each unique type of discipline that you would encounter in the academic field. So it's going to build on those patterns, but we're not going to write specifically in those patterns. We're going to focus mainly on proper research techniques and creating stronger arguments in using those research techniques. So how I run my class in Blackboard. I always start each week on a Monday and I conclude on a Sunday. So I will, for the majority of your assignments, have everything due on Sunday. You are, of course, more than welcome to turn anything in early throughout the class. Every time I open a new module, you will have everything in front of you to work as you want to work. So some people want to submit things early and have the weekend. Some people need the weekend, but I always give you that opportunity to have it or not have it. So I always consistently have things due on Sunday. That's going to help with your planning to know that every Monday you should log in, see what's coming up, and have everything due on Sunday. In addition to that, there are some small times that might change, things like your orientation quiz. And then, of course, as we get to the end of the semester, when we get to like the research observation project, that due date, there is going to be some variance when it comes to that particular assignment. But for the most part, you can always plan on Sundays. In addition to that, anytime I have a discussion, I always have the initial post due on Wednesdays, replies by Sundays. I do not have discussions every week, nor do I always have McGraw-Hill assignments. McGraw-Hill was used in English 111. It's also a requirement in English 112, but I use it sporadically throughout. It's not something you're going to see as emphasized as you might have in English 111. So that's going to help you organize. In addition to that, I use the calendar feature. So if you have not used it before, be sure you're clicking on the calendar, and I would even encourage you, which you can do, sync that calendar directly to your phone if you need be. In addition to that, I've organized the class into specific modules. So hopefully you can go ahead and start to preview our course. Of course, today you need to be focusing on our orientation quiz, but as part of that, you'll be looking at the course content and the course resources. Once you click on the course content, you will see that I've organized our class into specific modules by the disciplines that we are visiting. So our first module, I'm going to be focusing the class on just proper research techniques. The librarian's also going to be a part of our class. So she is going to help us look at where to find strong sources and then how to use those sources in our papers correctly. As part of that, you will have one paper assignment that's, and again, I'll explain all of this as we get to each module, but you'll have a paper assignment that focuses on your particular field. So this one's going to be a little bit different. Some of you are going to be going into natural science fields, some of you are going to be in social sciences, some of you are going to be in humanities, but that first paper is going to be emphasized depending upon whatever field you're going into. Our next module, we're going to be writing in the humanities, which is literature-based. After that, we're going to look at social sciences, and that's our longer project, which is a large part of your grade, which is our observation report. So that's how I've divided the class, where we look at those specific disciplines. We do also look at several different formats. We switch back and forth from MLA to APA, so that's another objective of our course. So for now, I would encourage all of you to preview through our course materials, kind of get an idea of what exactly our course is going to look like. You could look at what the different modules, for now, you'll see how the modules are separated, but I would encourage you to just go ahead and get started on the orientation itself and our first discussion this week, which is an easy one. Our week this week is, of course, brief because of the orientation, but we do have one discussion up already. Just a note, I do post many of these videos. I try to do at least one a week, sometimes one every other week, so feel free to fast forward as you get more and more tired of looking at me and my wall. So have a good week. If you have any questions, please reach out to me at any time.